Please could you give your name and constituency?
I'm Ben Bradley from Mansfield. I'm honoured and humbled to be elected by the residents of Mansfield as the constituency's first ever Conservative Member of Parliament.
We have a lot of challenges and I'm focusing on just a few. Combating homelessness is at the top of my agenda, regenerating our town centre, improving education and making sure it leads to rewarding work. The biggest challenge though is combating decades of negativity, of Labour representation that would rather talk the place down than try and make life better.
The consequences of not leaving the European Union are profound. I know the Minister will be aware of the Robin Hood line that runs through my constituency. With every school in Mansfield set to benefit from a funding increase later this year, government can be proud of the progress it's making. So what more can my right honourable friend do to support, to intervene in those schools, to level up our education system and make sure every child can access a good education regardless of their postcode?
Right, Minister. Well, I congratulate my honourable friend on the passion he brings to this debate and to this subject, and he is entirely right.
I applied for this debate because although coal miners' pneumoconiosis is not a terribly widely known illness, it's certainly prevalent within mining communities and is an illness which should receive greater attention. While we're talking about positive hospital stories, I'd just like to raise with him the case of Sherwood Forest Hospitals Trust, which has gone from special measures to good rated and is now nominated for the Hospital Trust of the Year award, which is a fantastic story for the NHS and those local services under a Conservative government.
A beautiful day in Mansfield. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome hard man at Brexit, one of Parliament's senior Brexiteers, Steve Baker, to come and support us in the constituency today.
Ben, the hard man thing is a joke, but I am really proud to be here to back Ben Bradley.
In short, it baffles me that the BBC is spending £100 million on diversity whilst at the same time ditching regional news in order to save £25 million. I think this is one of the clearest indicators that it's out of touch. The government's focusing on reaching out to communities across the country, but sometimes feels like the BBC have forgotten that other places exist outside of London.
I'm outside number 11, been to see the Chancellor this morning ahead of the budget, making sure we are making the case for our local investment and also some of the national economic issues that come across my desk regularly, making sure we're raising Mansfield's issues here in Downing Street. We're meeting with health professionals involved in putting together our primary care networks in Nottinghamshire.
I'm here in Mansfield today supporting Ben Bradley.
Formally welcomed by my constituents in Mansfield who just want to see a fairer system, both for people in genuine need and for UK taxpayers too.
Here in the chamber of the House of Commons. I'm at Samworth Academy this morning. Really enjoyed being at Birkeland's primary school.
West Notts College.
Here at Brunt's Academy this afternoon.
I'm here in Warsop and out across Mansfield. Now equalities questions, where I'm hoping to talk about white working class boys and the economic disadvantage that leads to them having less opportunity statistically than the rest of the country. This week we've announced that Mansfield's got an extra £1 million.
Back in Westminster this morning for the first parliamentary sitting of the post-Brexit era as an independent nation outside the EU.
There's definitely a case of feeling that societal pressure to tick the box, isn't there, in many ways? And
pleasure to be back in the House of Commons with a new mandate to represent the people of Mansfield, a massive 16,000 majority. Thank you so much for your support.
How good is that?
Well, it's certainly been an interesting year in terms of this kind of cultural division, hasn't it? And trying to, from my point of view, prevent this infiltration in many ways of a kind of leftist agenda.
Busy day in Mansfield, just heading back from the office. We finished our constituency surgery.
We're doing Macmillan Bake Sale today, the world's biggest coffee morning.
We're in the precinct, talking to local residents and hearing your views.
Me that the people of Mansfield, who like many millions across the country previously voted Labour but now put their faith in a Conservative government, are not in fact traitors as they've been branded by members of the party opposite this week, but in fact this government and members on this side of the House respect these hard-working people and communities. We respect their choices and we'll deliver for them. The other key message from the campaign has been that nobody has been speaking up for Mansfield down here in Westminster. I'm banging on the doors of ministers looking for support. That was my pledge during the election, to shout up loud and shout up often, and I intend to fulfil that promise.
Yeah.